Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to this special day of graduation, fellowship, and celebration. This is one of the most important days in the academic calendar. It's a day when we come together as a community with our graduands, their families and friends, to celebrate their academic achievements. It's also our opportunity as a community to say thank you to them and to other special people for their contributions to the RCS. I now invite the Chair of the Board of Governors, Professor Dorothy Meal, to address the congregation.
Thank you, Principal Sharkey. Good evening, guests. Welcome to the Conservatoire. It's my pleasure to introduce the formal elements of our ceremony. By virtue of the powers granted by the Privy Council, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland is this day holding a congregation for the conferment of degrees. We will also, on behalf of the Board of Governors, confer a fellowship, and on behalf of the Academic Board, confer professorships. Our ceremony begins with the conferment of an honorary degree. The authority of degree awarding powers resides with the Academic Board of the Conservatoire, which may confer an honorary degree of doctor upon any person it considers has made a truly outstanding contribution to their profession and whose achievements richly deserve high distinction and recognition. Therefore, Principal Sharkey, I now invite Jamie Mackay, Head of Postgraduate Learning and Teaching Programmes and Academic Development, to sponsor Eric Booth for the degree of Doctor of Arts Education.
Chair, Principal, Governors and Fellows of the Conservatoire, members of the Academic Board, graduands, invited guests. Eric Booth has been a teaching artist for 45 years. If he didn't actually invent the term, he's certainly contributed more than anyone to defining, professionalising and popularising the concept of teaching artistry. He has been the central figure in the building of a global community who share in the mission to activate the artistry of other people, many of whom lack the socio-economic status, access to opportunities, or cultural capital to engage in formal arts education. At the time he discovered teaching artistry, Eric had had a thriving career as a Broadway actor, but was finding the reality of the role somewhat limiting. After becoming involved in a pioneering project at New York's Lincoln Center, the seed of the teaching artist concept was planted, presenting a new way to engage those people who did not feel the arts could be something for them. Eric germinated the idea, going on to develop teaching artistry programs at the Lincoln Center and at other major institutions such as the Kennedy Center, Carnegie Hall, Juilliard, 7 of the 10 largest orchestras in the US, and in programs in 11 other countries around the world. In the process, he won America's highest award in arts education leadership, the only artist ever given that award, and was asked to give the keynote address to UNESCO's first World Arts Education Conference. In his career, Eric has also been an entrepreneur, building a business publishing newsletters about trends in American lifestyles. Over 7 years, the company became the largest of its kind in the US, employing a staff of 12, all of whom were not data analysts, but out-of-work artists. And he attests it was their artistry that made the company so distinctive and successful. He went on to sell the company to dedicate his time to his mission of nurturing the growth of the teaching artist profession. As part of this mission, Eric became a leading advisor to music for social change programs around the world, including El Sistema and Sistema Scotland, and launched the publication The Ensemble that 6,000 readers rely on to connect to the field. He started many organisations and programmes, including the Leonard Bernstein Centre, which runs a network of schools in the US that use an arts-integrated curriculum, and the Community Engagement Lab that trains artists in the New England region to design and launch projects in rural towns that address local challenges to build thriving communities. In 2012, Eric co-founded ITAC, the International Teaching Artist Collaborative, the first global network of artists who work in communities and schools. This network currently has over 4,000 members across more than 40 countries. Eric says he has never had a job, loving the flexibility a freelancer's life affords. which includes working with programs doing innovative work all over the world and publishing 8 books, including The Everyday Work of Art, The Music Teacher Artist Bible, and most recently, Making Change, Teaching Artists and Their Role in Shaping a Better World. He also found the time to be a marathon runner, an avid gardener, published poet, and lead singer in a rock band. And he currently lives on a nature preserve and enjoys taking trips in the wilderness every year and being an environmental activist. Eric is also an etymologist with a passion for the roots of meaning and language. In a keynote at the ITAC 6 conference in Oslo, Eric talked about the root of the word inspiration as to be in spirit. Eric appears to be permanently in spirit. However, it is his ability to help other people connect to their spirit, their passion, that makes him so remarkable. In preparation for this introduction, and with the assistance of the Scotland-based ITAC manager, the wonderful Madeleine McGurk-Rutherford, I reached out to a small fraction of the ITAC community with a brief survey, receiving responses from Singapore, the US, Argentina, Belgium, Greece, Australia, the Philippines, and of course Scotland. In the survey, Eric was described as a guiding light in arts education, a colossus, a guru, even the Pope of agency. Yong Lung from Singapore captures it well. Although a giant in the field, he takes the time and effort to teach and inspire teaching artists at every level. Eric has given all of us the courage to do better and strive towards the unknown. Undoubtedly, for someone who believes that the teaching artist's role is to activate artistry in others, this level of deification will make Eric uncomfortable. When I asked Eric what job title he was most comfortable with, he replied, an agent of artistic experience. This is an apt title for someone who is most energized and most energizing when working alongside others as a co-learner and collaborative artist. Yet for many individuals across the world, me included, Eric Booth is a major part of the etymological root of their identity as a teaching artist. Through his collaborations, workshops, books, conversations, advocacy, and leadership, he has helped many of the world's 10,000 plus teaching artists to develop the knowledge, skills, and attitudes required to activate artistry across the globe. And the survey says he does this with passion, kindness, selfless generosity, imagination, curiosity, conviction, wisdom, and hope. What more could you look for in a leader? Therefore, on this hallowed eve of Halloween, for your past, present, and future impact on the teaching artist profession, it is with pleasure and great honour that I ask the Principal to confer the degree of Doctor of Arts Education, honoris causa, upon you, Eric Booth.
By virtue of the powers granted by the Privy Council to the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland to confer an honorary degree of the Conservatoire upon any person it may deem worthy of such distinction, and in the name of the Academic Board, I confer upon you, Eric Booth, the degree of Doctor of Arts Education, honoris causa. Many congratulations.
Many thanks. Thank you to the whole RCS community. And Jamie, I'm not even Scottish, and that was excruciating to listen to. It's extraordinary for a man who has never had a job and spent 45 years building up a field that not everyone has even heard of, to be honored by one of the world's leading arts learning institutions. So thank you. Many in my family have been teasing me about becoming Dr. Booth. They have insisted I promise I not perform either brain or heart surgery on anyone in the near future, especially them. And I went along with the joke for a while until I realized, actually, that's exactly what teaching artists do. Jamie, etymology appears. The etymology of the word doctor is teacher, and the etymology of surgery is work with the hands. That's what teaching artists do. They are teachers who teach others how to work with their hands to make things they care about. That is the specialist power of the teaching artist, to work with the head and heart of people, to use creative engagement to make the world better. The number one job of an artist is to make worlds that contain all the wisdom and beauty you've got in you and share them with others. The number one job of a teaching artist is to activate the artistry of other people. And when that gigantic, elemental, universal human force is awakened, it can be guided in many different directions, one of which is into greater appreciation of those worlds made by artists, to open wide the access so that all people, not just those in the art club, can get inside those worlds and discover what they hold. But that force can be directed in other directions too. There are teaching artists in every country on earth. They have arisen from the soil, even where they don't use the word teaching artist or participatory artist or community artist. Artists engage with communities to enhance climate crisis response, to build the health of communities, to make communities cohere better, to increase academic achievement by students. When we activate this human force, teaching artists, we change the world. Teaching artists are the doctors that address the wicked challenges of the 21st century, all the challenges, including revitalizing the arts. And I want to leave with a comment to the graduands, soon to become graduates. And my offer is the law of 80%. I call it a law to make it sound scary. And that 80% number creates the false impression that I've done some research, which I haven't. But the law of 80% is true, and it says 80% of what you teach is who you are. The vast majority of your impact in the world is you, the artist in the world, being your full artist self. Almost all of you are going to be in formal teaching roles at some point, and all of us are educators at some point. And by far our most powerful tool is to radiate the benefits of a life in the arts. Not to get caught in the challenges and difficulties and annoyances of a profession in the arts, but to remember we get to be artists and to bring that artist's aesthetic attention, to bring that artist's heart to every opportunity you have, so that the attention you will lavish on a late Beethoven string quartet is the attention you lavish on a group of 10-year-olds and on your family. And the care you use to shape something that brings people together lives not just in a community of artists, but any community you deal with. This is the highest opportunity of a life in the arts, especially in the 21st century. Those are the artists we need. Those are the doctors who can heal the hearts and minds of the ailments and injuries of our world. We need you. That's the greatest possibility of the career ahead of you. Helping people make new connections that expand their sense of the way the world might be and can be, and then getting their hands on making that world and making it better together. Thank you for doing it.
It is my pleasure to introduce a performance in celebration of the work of Dr. Eric Booth.
Who's there? What ho?
My husband?
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now!
As I descended?
I.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donovan.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
They are two, lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could not I pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
You thought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the ravelled sleeve of care. The death of each day's life, sore labour's bath. Balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course. Chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on't again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose! Give me the daggers. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal. For it must seem their guilt.
How is't with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Ah! They pluck out mine eyes! Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed.
Of the Royal Conservatoire, and I have pleasure in inviting the Principal to introduce the sponsor.
Chair, I now invite Caroline Cochran, Head of Information Services, to sponsor Karen Macaulay.
Chair, Principal, Governors and Fellows of the Conservatoire, members of the Academic Board, graduates, invited guests. It is my pleasure to sponsor Dr. Karen Macaulay as a Fellow of the Conservatoire. Karen retired as a performing arts librarian within the Whitaker Library here at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland in June this year. I had the pleasure of working with her for the last 20 of those years. For those that know her, it will come as no surprise that Karen continues to contribute to Conservatoire life and is currently employed as a postdoctoral researcher within the Conservatoire's Research and Knowledge Exchange Department. Since starting work in the library in 1988, Karen has continually sought out new and interesting learning, teaching and research opportunities, which have brought enormous value and impact, not only to Karen's professional and personal life, but to the Conservatoire as a whole. Her ambition and drive to always be developing and learning is matched by her deep commitment to ensuring that her development is inextricably linked to cascading that knowledge and expertise into developing services and collections which have supported our students and staff in their Conservatoire journey. To give you some context, Dr. Karen Macaulay was a librarian of the Conservatoire for 36 years and started in the summer following the move into this building from the old Athenaeum, when our music stock was merely a fortuitous collection and nothing more than a beginning, to quote the Board of Governors Minute Book. For almost 30 of those years, Karen was a sole music specialist, and she has developed our library collection into the world-class resource that it is today. Karen seamlessly combines the roles of librarian, musicologist, researcher, and educationalist. She holds 5 degrees from 5 institutions, including a postgraduate certificate in learning and teaching from the RCS, which made her the first professional services staff member to do so. And her dedication to her field culminated in her gaining her PhD from the University of Glasgow in 2009. But of course, this is Karen, and it doesn't stop there. She holds a fellowship of the Higher Education Academy, and in 2023 she was the first holder of the Honorary Kettleby Research Fellowship in Late Modern History at the University of St Andrews. This year she was awarded an Honorary Fellowship of the International Association of Music Libraries, and in January next year Karen will be the holder of a Heritage Collections Research Fellowship at the University of Edinburgh. It would take a librarian to catalogue her list of many achievements. The dissemination of Karen's work has been prolific throughout her career. She has published in innumerable journal articles across countless publications, from the entirely scholarly to a short story series in The People's Friend. Following her PhD, she published her thesis, and her second book, A Social History of Amateur Music Making and Scottish National Identity, was published yesterday. You're having a rather good week, Karen. As a music subject specialist, Karen has supported the developing RCS curriculum and has had many special projects and interests, not least as a Scottish traditional music expert, and most recently through the promotion and enhancement of the library's collection of music composed by women and marginalised composers. Karen always sought out the best ways to maximise student engagement in library resources and how to enhance information literacy skills to support thousands of students in their RCS learning journey. Karen is a great advocate for building professional networks, and she was in the vanguard of using social media for this purpose. Not many people will know this, but Karen created and launched the first ever, and now one of the longest running, academic library blogs in the UK, Whitaker Live. We will endeavour to keep your trailblazing legacy alive and always strive for what's next. As if all of that weren't enough, Karen is a talented seamstress, a wife, a mother to 3 boys. I have no idea where she finds the time. To conclude, it has been my privilege and honour to work with Karen, and I know I can say that of all her colleagues in the library, the wider Conservatoire community and the wider UK library profession. But as I'm sure you will agree, Karen's really just pretending at being retired and is now actually living her best life. I can think of no worthier woman to receive this honour, and I therefore have great pleasure in asking the Chair to confer Fellowship of the Royal Conservatoire upon Dr. Karen Macaulay.
In the name of the Board of Governors, I have great pleasure in conferring the Fellowship of the Royal Conservatoire upon you, Karen Macaulay. Thank you. Congratulations.
I now invite the directors to present the graduands for their awards.
In the name of the School of Drama, Dance, Production and Film, and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduands who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts in Acting, Classical and Contemporary Text. Emre Arslanbek. Ashlyn Borrell. Connor Fallon. Christian Neal. Matthew Paynacker-Hudick. Alexander Porteous. Alistair Robertson. Hugh Hyung Sim. Poppy Smith. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduand who has been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts in Directing, Classical and Contemporary Text. Stephanie Austin. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduands who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts in Musical Theatre, Musical Directing. Hudson Crowe. Miguel Esteban. Noah Pott. Luke Sprague. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduands who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts in Musical Theatre Performance. Catherine Brooks. Jen Cassidy. Shane Ferris. Michaela Elise Fox. David Healy. Emi Kitagawa. Lucy McClure. Marty Pascal. Tyler Ramsey. Selena Savioki. Anna Toogood. Jordan Trelaw. KJ Wang. Martina Brubel. Tai Shu. Jiaxin Zheng. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Acting. Adam Bregman. Tyrese Denton. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Filmmaking. Ariana Krola.
In the name of the School of Music and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the award of Artist Diploma in Music, Nikita Lukinov. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts. In composition, Jake Davey. Camilo Andres Espinosa Manrique. In performance, Luke Anderson. Jack Halforty. Pearl Huelen Luong. In traditional music, Finley Frame. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Music. In accompaniment, Max McQuirter. In opera, Audrey Wing Yu Tsang. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Music in performance with honours of the second class, Per Jansson. Lois McCall. Edward Scully. And for the ordinary degree, Rebecca McDermott. In traditional music with honours of the second class, Gillis O'Flaherty. On behalf of the partnership comprising the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland and the National Piping Centre of Scotland, and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Music in Traditional Music Piping, with honours of the first class, Callum Kay. Finlay McVicker. Bede Patterson. With honours of the second class, Emma Hill.
Principal, in the name of the Directorate of Business Development and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Education in Learning and Teaching in the Arts. Ross Balsillie. Melanie Blue. Hazel Blue. Antonina Clement. Heather Downey. Daniel Fontana. Lorna Gallagher. Lisa Gibbons. Barry Henderson. Claire Hume. Jennifer Ann Kelly. Anita Mackenzie Mills. Sarah Massey. Kim McClelland. Hannah McElnia. Maria McGough. Julia Montalbano. Eve Mulholland. Rosemary Sage. Diana Saunderson. Una Sharma. Elaine Watt. Caitlin Wilkinson. And Marilyn Wilson. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the Postgraduate Certificate in Learning and Teaching in the Arts. Brian Ferguson. Principal, in the name of the Directorate of Research and Knowledge Exchange and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Master of Arts in Psychology in the Arts, Music. Claire Bald. Isla Callister-Wafer. Ellie Donald. Naomi Harlan. Jessica Hogben. Xian Tan. And Molly Westbrook. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I request that you confer the appropriate degree upon those graduates listed as in absentia in the programme.
I confer those appropriate degrees in absentia.
I now invite the Principal to confer the title of Professor.
Having been found worthy of distinction, I confer upon you, Lois Fitch, the title of Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, Spartan Noctus S. Hunc Exorna. Many congratulations. I'll do this.
I, Lois Fitch, Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, faithfully promise that I shall fulfil the duties and responsibilities entrusted to me here in the service of curriculum design and leadership to the best of my abilities.
I know you will. Congratulations. Having been found worthy of the distinction, I confer upon you, Georgie Geitch, the title of Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, Spartan Noctus S. Hunc Exorna. Congratulations.
I, Georgie Geitch, Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, faithfully promise that I shall fulfil duties and responsibilities entrusted to me here in the service of performance and pedagogy to the best of my ability.
I know you will. Having been found worthy of the distinction, I confer upon you, Steve Halfyard, the title of Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, Spartan Noctus S. Hunc Exorna. Congratulations.
I, Steve Halfyard, Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, faithfully promise that I shall fulfil the duties and responsibilities entrusted to me here in the service of research and innovation to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. Well, this has been quite an afternoon, hasn't it? Fantastic. And you all got here and did it. It's your graduation, your day to celebrate, and we are really proud of all of you. And I say this every year, but it's true all the time. There's been a whole team of people on this journey with you that help make it possible for you. And I want to make special mention of some of them today. Your program teams, the staff across the RCS, your classmates and fellow students, who I'm sure at different points throughout your studies have rooted for you and helped you get through the more difficult days. And another part of that home team are your friends and loved ones, some of whom are here in the Stevenson Hall today. So can I ask all of you to be upstanding to applaud them by way of saying thank you for all their love and support during your time at RCS. Good timing. This is good. We're also recognizing and celebrating today the achievements of our new fellow, Karen Macaulay, our trio of professors, Professor Fitch, Professor Geitsch, Professor Halfyard, and our new honorary doctor, Dr. Booth. Warm congratulations to all of you for today, of course, but also for the body of work that has led each of you to this important recognition. Thinking about what to say to all of our graduates today got me wondering, have you ever, as I know I have, perhaps in a meditative state, really focused on a single sound, a single word, a single move in space, or an idea? In our minds, we can make that note, sound, word, or movement as perfect as we could wish. We can add to that note, or sound, or word, or move to make a phrase, to deliver a line, to move in space, or to create a physical object. Our mind removes technical barriers, and we can imagine it going just as perfectly as we would like. Athletes do this too, envisioning that successful long jump through the length of strides and leap required, the stretch towards touching distance of the poolside, or the forward pass, the tackle, the shoot, or in this country, of course, the goal. Mental conditioning for artists, as for athletes, complements our physical training. It allows us temporarily to lay our fears and angst to one side and simply contemplate the approach towards just right and just what we'd want. But I am sure, like me, you're glad that art does not simply exist in the privacy and solitude of our own minds. The real world conditions, the stage, the instruments, the tools, the ensemble, and the audience all have direct bearing on how that art is shaped in a unique fashion every time we undertake to perform it. The unrepeatable excitement of that moment, that set of circumstances, that chance to inspire, to influence, and share an emotional experience is one of the great joys of being a human. The shared experience of art we've made about ourselves or about our world draws us together as a unique species on this planet. And all of you are in an unrivaled position to help shape and share those stories. We all deal with the "am I good enough" anxiety, the "will it go as well as it did in practice" moment. The conductor Ben Zander had a wonderful way of not letting fear inhibit our willingness to try. He felt that any so-called mistake should be embraced inwardly, responding, "How fascinating," rather than responding with any fear, with any tightening to avoid it, or any attempts at something we might label perfection. It's our mistakes that make us human, that allow us to learn, that allow us to evolve as performing artists, creators, and more simply, as a part of humanity. Our honorary doctor today, Eric Booth, pioneered the idea of the teaching artists, that double-barreled word of equal strength and importance. Artists work for themselves, but have a chance, opportunity, and arguably also the obligation to use their art to teach others. The teaching of others feeds into the teaching of the self and makes each of us a better artist. Your artistic experience, shaping your work, sharpening your skills, makes you a better teacher. And then you have the virtuous circle that teaching artists can live through and in their entire careers. Looking forward from here to what you do next, I hope you will all go for it in your work without overt fear of mistakes or judgment. I hope that your studies here have shown you how fascinating the human condition is, how worthy of storytelling, how desiring it is of emotional experiences that shape our lives. You're all poised, and each of you has so much potential to be an inspirational artist, leader, and teacher in your respective communities. The home team at RCS is always here, always cheering you on. And thank you and congratulations. This congregation is now ended. Please be upstanding for all of our graduates.